Hey guys, Storm here. Long time no see. It's been a redesign to the channel, and I should be coming back for good now. Sorry about the long break. School had caught up to me, and things were just pretty busy. Anyways, so today we are making a game like Mr. Jump. So if you haven't heard of it, it is a 2D game for the iPhone. However, we'll be making a computer version of it in this episode. Mr. Jump. And so it's a pretty basic game for beginners and intermediate level. Alrighty, so let's dive right into this. We're going to start by opening up Unity, which I've done pre-recording. And this is the new Unity 5. So we're going to press New Project. It's going to be a 2D project, and it's going to be called Mr. Jump. And then just put it into your folder that you use. And then for the asset the asset packages, what we need is to import 2D. And that should be all for now. We will get back to some of this later. Then press Create Project. Okay, so the reason why we chose the 2D asset package was so that we just have some of this base classes and prefabs that we can use. However, throughout this episode, we'll be changing everything up pretty much, and we won't really rely on these. However, it is useful to have things like the camera 2D follower and the platformer character 2D. Okay, so moving on, let's dive right in by first creating a 2D object or a sprite, or actually we can go into 2D, we can use prefabs, and then we can use these platforms that they've got here. So I'm just going to bring out the platform 16, as it's a fairly large platform. I'm going to center this, and that should be all that we need for that one. Now with the platform, what we have is little pieces, individual pieces that we can use. And then they have a collider, which has which is a thing that the player will collide with, and then the slider is just basically, I actually have no clue what the slider is. We'll have a look at that later. Okay, so with our platform, to get us going straight away, we can drag this character in, and then with the main camera, we can add on the camera 2D follower. Follow. And then for the target, we can just drag the character Robot Boy on there. So if you press play, you can see we've got a moving character with the camera following him. And if the speed is a bit too slow for you, you can change it here. So if we add it on 1, for example, does that the return speed, I think we can, if we raise that, it takes longer, and if we lower that, it takes less time. Off the top of my head. I think we need to set that outside. Yeah, and with dampening, I'm just going to set that to 1 so it doesn't go insanely far ahead of the character. It shouldn't go. Alrighty. So from now, we're going to go into our assets. We're going to create a new folder, and it's going to be a scripts folder. And in there, we're going to have our a new folder for character, and in that one we're going to create a new C# script for basic 2D character. And then open that up. Okay, so we're just going to remove the comments here, and we're going to add in the first few variables that we need. So we're gonna have a public transform ground check, and so what the ground check will be a little raycast coming out of the bottom. It'll be like a circle out of the bottom area of the player, and then it will basically check for our platform, which we're going to give a layer. So let's just quickly create a layer for ground. We're going to give this platform the ground layer, and then so the little circle is going to have a little check around his feet area, and if it comes with a collision with that and the ground, it's going to be is grounded. If not, it won't be. So the transform is the position in which we want it to check from the player, which it has one there already. From there we're going to have a bool rounded is equal to false, because we don't want them to be grounded from the start. And then we're going to have a ground radius and what the ground radius is basically the circle, the diameter of the circle, radius of the circle, that will be checking if the ground's there. Next we're going to have our public layer mask. What is ground, and I'm just going to put that up like that, and then remove that. Alrighty, I'm just going to move that up one and that up one, and that should be all that we need for the moment. Then I'm going to add a fix update here. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is, in Mr. Jump we don't ever control the movement. The only thing that you control is the jump. So we'll get into the jump a bit more later on in the episode. So basically what happens is if you tap it, he does a small jump, and if you hold it, he does a long jump, like a higher up jump, and he will always be moving forwards at a constant speed, which we can probably define up here if we want. A public float speed, player speed. Alrighty, so first we want to start with probably the rigid body 2D and velocity. Make sure it's a lowercase r. And then we want it to be the velocity is equal to new vector 2, and then we'll do 1 times player speed, and then rigid body 2D dot velocity dot y. Sorry, player speed. Sorry, I was not used to the new Unity yet. So with the new Unity, you need to make sure that you have a get component rigid body 2D on your player. In your code. Unity 4 would have just been rigid body 2D. However, Unity 5 has to be get component. So yeah, try not to forget that. I'll try not to forget that as well. So if we just have, yeah, we'll go into a fixed update quickly. We also need up here a bool can jump, because he can double jump when he hits some certain trigger. We'll find out about that later on in the episode. So we're going to do grounded is equal to physics 2D dot overlap circle at ground check dot position ground radius and then our ground. Alrighty, we'll make this public for now just so we can see if it's working. And we're going to disable this for a second. We're going to create a new 2D sprite. And with the 2D sprite, if you go into the 2D if you just go into the 2D sprites, what we're going to do is just grab one of these things that we want to use. So for example, platform white sprite. I'm going to drag that onto our new sprite. And then I'm going to just scale him down so he's half the size, which would be 0.25. Okay. And then this should be fine if I just go create a new class, new photo, sorry, for materials. And then materials, just create a new material. And make sure you call it basic character sprite. We'll make this more advanced later on. We'll change the shader to yeah, the shader will be changed to sprites and then just default. And then for now we're just going to change the tint to a nice reddy color, a reddish color. And then we're going to drag that onto our sprite. Next we're going to give our sprite a rigid body 2D. And we're also going to give him our character script. Inside that we're just going to press Ctrl Shift N. Control Alt Shift N. That just makes it a child game object. And then we're going to move its position to 1. 0.25. We'll fix this up later on with our actual character. And we're going to call it ground check. So with our new sprite, we're going to drag our ground check here. We're going to set our ground to be ground. We're going to change player speed to 2 for now. So if we just rename this to basic player, we'll just call it basic character. And then we go to our main folder, create a new folder for prefabs, and then drag them in there. Alrighty, so that sort of works. I forgot to give him a collider. So we just add the collider 2D. And you see he'll continuously move. Oop, and there he goes. So we want to prevent rotation, so we're going to do fixed angle, I believe. Yep, okay. And the reason why is on the platform we have the 2 sliders, which I don't think we need. So if we just disable the 2 sliders, let me press play again. Yep, he falls smoothly off, perfect. So with our basic character, what we can do now quickly is check the grounded, making sure that works. So it's grounded now. And when he falls off, he's not grounded anymore, which is great. So, let's just delete these. Alrighty. So after we've done this, I'm just going to set can jump is equal to grounded. And then I'm also going to add in here a bool can special jump. And then from the get-go, we're just going to set can special jump to be false. Alrighty. Okay, so let's start with the jumping now. So with the jumping, we want to have a first a public bool min jump height, and then a public bool max jump height. Sorry, not bool. We need to set these to ints. Int. I've been coding a lot in C++ lately, and it's weird coming back to C#. Okay. And then we want to have a bool for jumping. And that's if we're holding down the key. So we're going to first add a if input dot get key key code dot space. Then we're going to do jumping is equal to true. Yep, so jumping is equal to true. And then else jumping is equal to false. We're just going to check that quickly, make sure that it is working. And grounded. Because we want to make sure that we're on the ground when we do our first initial jump. So if we have a look at our basic character, we hold jumping, then we let go, it goes. And then leaves. We might get rid of this quickly, actually. Just temporarily, we're gonna get rid of that. Alright, so in fixed update, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a int here for a jump counter, or actually a float. And then I need to do so what we're going to do is we're going to do an if statement that will basically check if we're jumping in fix update, which we have said here, and then also if our jump counter here is less than what our max jump is, or our jump counter is smaller than what our minimum jump height is. So that's if we just tap space. And then we're going to add force, so the minimum force that we need to add. Or actually we'll add like a X amount of force so it goes up slowly. And then if it's greater, if our jump counter is greater than max jump height, it's going to set jumping equal to false. Here we're going to do and not jumping. We're going to set this into, yeah, actually, yep, no, that's fine, okay. So first we're going to set up our if statement for First, if we're jumping and our jump counter is less than our max jump height, or so if we're jumping and we're our jump counter is less than max jump value, or our jump counter is less than our min value. And then, sorry, we're going to increase our jump counter by time.delta time times by min jump height, I think, off the top of my head. And then we're going to add our force like this, but on our y. Yep, so on our y. Our force should just be our jump counter force. Great. I might just remove this part here. And then what I'm going to do is up here, we'll just test this quickly, just to see what happens. So on our basic character, we're going to set our min jump height to 2 and our max jump height to 10. That is values off the top of my head, we'll fix them later. So if we tap space, nothing happens, but if we hold space, he flies off into the distance. So we'll set max jump height to 2 for a second. Okay. We'll do times 2. Might do min jump height here. And then jump counter will just plus equal min jump height each time. So that if we just tap it, he does a jump, and then if we hold it, he should do a bigger jump. So if we set min jump height to be 5 and then max jump height to be 10, actually we'll do 2 again. Okay, good. What we'll do is we'll add our time.delta time here. We'll quickly set this to 6 and then we'll press play. So we can jump normally, then we can hold our jump and do a big jump. So what I'm going to do is set the player's speed to 2 just quickly. He needs to do a big jump from the get-go, so we'll do 6 and then we'll try 15. 6, we'll just double that. We'll have a look at that. Alright. what we actually do to make this accurate, what we'll do is we'll track based on our actual height. So we have a height up here. We're not actually using, we sort of are. So we're gonna have a vector 3, and it's gonna be original pause. So as soon as we jump, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do original pause is equal to, see, even that won't work. We'll just work with what we have for the moment. We'll do jump counter plus equals 1 times delta time dot delta time. And if jump counter is less than, we'll say 2 seconds, so they can hold it down for 2 seconds, the jump. Then we get rid of this. And we don't really need the max jump height, we just need the min jump height. So we press play, we tap it, he does his jump, but if we hold it for 2 seconds, and then he should start coming down. Try that once more, so hold it for 2 seconds. I'm just gonna set, the main camera to be following the actual, this thing. I'm just gonna set the player's speed to 0 for the moment. Yep, that works. So, it's too long here, so we're just gonna set it to, we're gonna have a float jump time, so we can just change it in an editor. Is less than jump time, and right now we're going to set our jump time to be 0.5. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so what we want to do now is obviously play around with our values. So if we set player speed to be a bit faster because he's running quite slow, we'll set it to 3 quickly, and we're just going to duplicate this a few times. And in materials, just so we can know when we're changing, I'm gonna just set every second one. Just like that. So we press play. Right now he can double jump, of course, but we haven't fixed that. We can, we just have a problem that we need to fix quickly, is that if he jumps for too long, he gets to a point where he can't jump again. Because his jumping is not being unset, apparently. I'm also gonna actually do can jump here. So we press play, he should be able to jump, but he can't. And can jump, not can jump. So we press play again. Now he can jump. You can't double jump. Perfect. Which means no, that should be fine. Okay, so we press play, and if we just tap it, he should do a smaller jump, but he doesn't. Right, yeah, because we've set it to can jump. Jumping is being unset. So what we're going to do is remove that else here. And right now he's going to do the biggest jump that he can. And the reason why is in here we're going to add a check quickly of if input dot get key space. So if not input dot get key space. Basically we're going to set jumping is equal to false. And then else we do this. Alrighty, so we press play. He should be able to do his minimum and maximum jumps now. So we tap it, he does a small jump, and if we hold it, he does his bigger jump. Okay. But he can't jump again. What we also might do is if we just copy that and put it in here, which is essentially what we have, and I've just removed it, I know. That should work. And if grounded jumping is equal to false, I'm trying to add in these extra checks just to make sure, because it seems that when he hits his maximum height it glitches out. That's not gonna work. Yep, there we go. Nope. So I'm gonna set this to public up here just to see what is going on. And I'll be back once I've debugged this. Yeah, so what's happening is we need to set jump counter to be 0 again. So that's a silly mistake that I should have known. So what we need to do is just set jump counter is equal to 0. So we press play again. He can do his jumps. He can do his larger jumps. Yep, okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, just to test the jumping, the play needs to be much faster, and the gravity needs to be even more, because in the game, of course, it's like that. So I'm going to set play speed to be 6, and then I'm going to do gravity scales equal to just 2 quickly, just to see what it's like. Yep, much better. Now you obviously can see that he's not being smooth, which we will obviously fix that. Yeah, we'll fix that in a sec. Okay, so we can fix that just by choosing one of these two. For now I'm just going to choose extrapolate. Our main camera just seems to be a bit too slow for me, so I'm just going to set everything to 0.1. Just to see if that makes things a bit better. Yep. Okay. Much better. In here I'm going to just duplicate some of these just to see what it looks like. Basically just to see how jumping looks like, so we can run in between them, because yeah, we shouldn't have to be able to. So on all of these, on these three, I'm just going to give them all colliders. So yeah, so we run into it. Yep, and we can jump over them. Next, I want to add a check for if a raycast check basically from here to about here, and even less, just to see if the players hit a wall. And so if the players hit a wall, we want to obviously make them die. So let's get started on that. We're going to duplicate our ground check. I'm going to say wall check. However, this one's going to be a raycast, so it's just a bit different. So set it to 2.5, and then on the Y to be 1.25. Sorry, 0.25. And then that's just going to shoot a ray from where it is to vector3.right, pretty much. So in our player class, we're going to have a public transform wall check, and of course a public wall dead. Not public, this one's just going to be private. In here we're going to do if not dead, so all of these things, if he's not dead. Pretty much. So now we're going to have a if raycast sorry, it's been a while since I've done raycasting, so it's if physics.raycast, and then so it's going to be from our wall check dot position. We're going to do vector2.right, and then we're going to do so we want the max distance to be, we'll have a float up here, so next to our wall check we're going to have a public float wall check distance, and so that wall check distance is going to be how far it checks. So if that's true, then we want to basically set is dead is equal to true. And then just so we can see, we're going to do a debug.draw debug.draw line from wall check dot position, and then vector3.right times wall check distance, I believe, and then color that red. Actually, if we do wall check distance here, get rid of rule check distance actually. So, sorry, in our player we want to set wall check here, and then wall check distance to be 0.1. Yeah, I need to fix that for a sec, 2 secs. Sorry, I meant to do draw array, that was my fault. That should work. So if we press play, yep, and then it draws the array that you can see here. Alrighty. So this check is out inside the is dead check. So we need to do that outside. So we press play, and he should be dead. So I'm gonna debug this quick. Sorry, that was really silly of me. So if it's physics.2d, because it was looking in 3D space when this is 2D space anyways. So if he walks, and now he's dead. So we just need to fix that. I think it's the distancing on it. Okay, so it's a simple fix. All it is a matter of the raycast that is checking is actually getting a hit here. So if we just put this forward just a little bit, so 2.55 will be fine. So if we press play, you can see he dies. So if we press play in like middle of a jump, he should die and technically fall to the ground, but he isn't. Yeah, there we go, see? We'll play death animation soon, but yeah. Good, good. Okay, so that's the gist of the controller done. So the player can jump, run, and everything else that needs to be happening. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so the next part of this tutorial is to create the player. I'd like to create, I'm not going to record the creating the art of the player. However, I'm just going to draw a few, and then I'm going to draw a few sprites and put them together in a sprite sheet for like a walk animation. And that should be all. So I'll draw it, and then I'll come back once I've drawn it. Alright, so here's just a quick update, is the basic player that I have. And you'll see each individual body part has their own layer on the right. This is just so we can animate them and create individual images with these. Just quickly, what I've done is I've created, I'm only going to do 5 for the run animation. You can create more if you want it to be smooth. For the background color, which will be our alpha color, which we set in Unity, it would just be FF00FF. And then these black lines are just temporary, so I can place my player in there. Okay. Alrighty guys, I'm back. So this is our sprite sheet. I'm going to get rid of these black lines now because we don't really need them. And they're the 5 sprites that we're going to animate between and have our player running as. So I'm going to save this. We're going to create a folder in assets for sprites. Sorry. I'm going to save a new folder for character. And it's just going to be called character. So save that. Now we come into Unity and we go to our character in our sprites folder. Yep, so it's going to be sprite 2D and UI, and it's going to be multiple sprites. There's pixels per unit. There's 128, I believe. And if we just go to our sprite editor, we want to slice these. So if we do slice type automatic, and the pixel size is 128 by 128. So we slice that. Boom. So now we've got our sprites that are spliced. Apply that. Now if we open this up, you can see that. And we're going to change the format to true color and filter mode to point, and press apply. So basically, if you drag this onto your scene, it's going to come up with a new animation. So in assets, we're going to create animation folder. It's just going to be called player run. So if we go to window and we open up our animation window, which I've already got opened, you can see the player is doing his run, which we'll have to smooth up in a sec and fix these out. Firstly, we want to set the player's sprite. So I'm going to bring up the window animation. I'm going to lock it. I'm just going to float it. So firstly, we want the player's sprite to be this one. Then after that, we want it to be this one. Then this one. Then we gotta go back again. Sorry, going back on myself here. And then from here we want to go in the reverse direction. 1, 2. And because we've already got this starting one here, we don't need to have an ending one there, because it's just going to loop. So this one becomes this one becomes this, and then this one becomes this one. So if we play that, it's just going to... The little bob is annoying, it's just because the way that I rotated the legs, but it'll add to the feeling that he's actually running. Okay. Next we just want to add in our alpha color, which I can do quickly. So it turns out that with the sprite shader that you cannot do that off the top of my head. Yeah. So because we cannot do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the background and then resave that. Alrighty, so if we just go back to our animator window, and then we press our character and then we press play. There we go, he's got his running animation. So for the basic character, what I'm going to do is, rather than have that, I'm going to move pretty much duplicate these, put them onto our character 0. I can probably do this a much easier way actually. I can probably, on our basic character, rather than having the sprite, that sprite, what we'll do is we'll go to our sprite and we'll drag our character onto it and just set this to 1, and we'll get rid of the material that we had on here. Yep. We'll reset that, We're gonna press this button here to edit the collider, and just put it like that, so it's around our player properly. We're gonna get our wall check, which is over here. We're gonna center that back onto our player. We'll center all of these onto our player. I'm gonna copy this animated component. And I'm gonna put that onto the basic player. Base component is new. Then I'm gonna delete this and go back to our basic character. For the ground check, I'm gonna put that at the very bottom. And then for the wall check, I'm gonna put that in front of the player. Alrighty. Oops. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Create new material. Basically what we're going to do is just with the material, I'm going to use Sprite's default for all of these, because that's how these should look. That'd be fine. Pink's just our color for now. Alrighty, so it works. And he's got his run animation, perfect. What I'm also gonna do is when he's dead, I just want our animator. Sorry, we have to do the get component animator that enabled, which is false. So we press play.